South Sudan is a country located in East Africa, and within it, we can find the Dinka tribe, which mainly lives along the Nile River. Their occupations are traditional agriculture and livestock farming. Along with the Tutsi of Rwanda, they are among the tallest tribes in Africa and the world. The average male height of the Dinka is 6 feet. This tribe represents about 18% of the population in South Sudan, making them the largest ethnic group in the country. They do not have a centralized authority and are organized into many independent clans that relate to one another. The Dinka language is one of the Nilotic languages of the Eastern Sudan language family. Like this tribe, there are other interesting facts that I want to tell you about this African country. It is a place with unique geography, nature, animals, and culture, but also with many social and economic problems to solve. 1. South Sudan is the youngest nation in the world as it gained independence from Sudan only in 2011 after going through a complicated civil war. 2. The country has extensive oil fields that form the basis of its economy, but since it does not have access to the sea, it has to pass almost all of its oil pipelines through Sudan, which has led to various conflicts that have even temporarily suspended oil production. 3. The majority of people in South Sudan live in rural areas and subsist on less than $1 a day. Many live with straw roofs, and 80% of the population does not have access to sanitary services. 4. Traditional houses are called tukals and are usually built with sticks and mud, have straw roofs, and are circular in shape. 5. Wealth is typically measured in livestock, so it is common to pay a man with cattle for the opportunity to marry his daughter if several men are competing for her. 6. Only 16% of children go to school, and only 1.9% complete primary school, so the country has the highest illiteracy rates in the world. 7. It is a multilingual country, with hundreds of linguistic groups, and people speak more than 60 indigenous languages, due to the diversity of their origins that come from different ethnic groups. 8. The territory has an abundance of wildlife, including giraffes, buffalo, lions, elephants, and antelopes. Boma National Park is home to one of the world's largest wildlife migrations. 9. It is estimated that in Boma Park, around 1.3 million antelopes move through the landscape in search of good pastures. The country has tried to attract tourism to this place to boost its economy. 10. Boma Park is a protected natural area that was established in 1986 and covers 8,807 square miles of grasslands and alluvial plains. It is an essential refuge for the white-eared kob, the tiong, and the Mongola gazelle. 11. Other large animals that live in the park are buffalo, elephants, African leopard, giraffe, oryx, antelope, cheetah, eland, zebra, Grant's gazelle, bongo, lion, and Nile lechwe. 12. It is one of the 27 countries that do not have any sites registered on the UNESCO World Heritage List. However, there are 3 places that are on a preliminary list for nomination. 13. One of the sites that could be included as a World Heritage Site is precisely the Boma Badingalo migratory landscape, which includes 2 national parks, known for the migratory phenomenon of the megaherds that move simultaneously. 14. Although the standard metric system is officially used in this nation, a very diverse system based on Egyptian and British standards for weights and measures is also utilized in localities. 15. The Nur tribe has a tradition of ghost marriage, in which a man can marry a woman as a substitute for his deceased brother. Children born from this union will be considered descendants of the deceased, and the ghost is the socially recognized father. 16. The Mundari tribe are cattle herders and fierce warriors. They live very close to their animals, and nothing is more important to them than their cows. The Mundari enjoy wrestling as a pastime and practice it at all ages. There are clans with wrestling heroes known throughout the country. 17. Cows, as well as weapons, are the possessions that are most protected and kept well guarded to prevent thieves from taking them. Cows are frequently used as currency in various deals. 18. The Zonde tribe still practice polygamy, so men can have multiple wives. In the past, they would accumulate so many women that young men found it difficult to find someone to marry. These clans are totemic, believing that upon death, the body soul turns into a totemic animal. 19. The Bemba are divided into 40 matrilineal clans that practice polygamy, although the first wife enjoys special status. Their burial ceremonies are among the most elaborate among Bantu speakers. 20. Bari society is divided into freemen and serfs, with blacksmiths, hunters, and similar groups forming lower castes. Most of the 150 patrilineal clans are made up of free men. Both men and women undergo an initiation rite in which their lower incisors are removed. 21. Historically, the Shilluk were united in a single state headed by a divine king. In addition to various royal classes, the Shilluk were divided into commoners, royal servants, and slaves. 22. Eniwa clans are patrilineal, and members of a lineage live in the same village. Each village consists of 200 to 2,000 people, with several unrelated clans. Unlike other clans, the Eniwa are monogamous. 23. One of the most important forms of cultural expression among illiterate groups in South Sudan is oral expression used for the creative expression of folklore and myths, as well as the narration of history and traditions. 24. Many groups mark life cycle stages, birth, puberty, marriage, and death, with ritual practices and ceremonies. Scarring and tattoos as a method of ritual adornment are common. 25. Among clans that practice polygamy, this custom is considered a good method for expanding affinal relations, such as mother-in-laws, to acquire a larger support network. 26. Although divorce is now common, in the past, a broken marriage was considered shameful because it destroyed the network of relationships that had been formed. 27. Cereals like millet and sorghum are the most popular sources of sustenance in the country, complemented by a wide variety of fresh fruits, vegetables, and legumes grown in the region. 28. Some of the dishes enjoyed in the countryside include kisra, a wide flatbread that accompanies many meals. A porridge made from sorghum that can be served with meat or vegetables is also common, as is ful, a dish made from mashed beans and spices to which other foods are added. 29. The Zande are notable as craftsmen and artists. Their production of spears, knives, and shields was a determining factor for them to dominate other neighboring tribes, which led to the widespread diffusion of Zande culture. 30. Contemporary Zande are known for their crafts made from iron, clay, and wood. Some incorporate acrylic, water, or oil-based paints in their materials. 31. There is a traditional style of music in which singers perform without musical accompaniment or with only limited drumming. A musical style known as Sudanese fusion, which mixes Arabic and African rhythms, is also popular. 32. Wrestling matches are used as part of activities marking the end of the agricultural season and include the participation of spectators who join in by singing and dancing in support of the competitors. 33. Basketball is a very popular sport in South Sudan, and there are internationally renowned players from this country, such as Manute Ball and Luol Deng. 34. The tallest player in NBA history was Manute Ball, a man from the Dinka tribe who stood at 7 feet 7 inches. 35. The Dinka revere a single god called Nyalik, who speaks to them through spirits that temporarily possess certain individuals who serve as a bridge of communication. 36. Young Dinka reach adulthood through an initiation process that includes marking their forehead with a sharp object. During the ceremony, they acquire a second name related to a cow's color. 37. Soccer was very popular, and the country was even one of the powerhouses in Africa for the sport. But games were interrupted during the long civil conflict. When the conflict ended, soccer began to regain popularity due to government efforts to involve young people in the sport. 38. South Sudan has one of the youngest populations in the world, with about half the population under 18 years of age and 2/5 under 15. 39. Approximately 73.7% of the country's population is under the age of 30, and the percentage continues to rise as they have a high fertility rate. with 4.74 children per South Sudanese woman. 40. The country's name means Land of the Blacks, but interestingly, there's been a trend in recent years involving skin bleaching, which has become increasingly popular. In response, authorities have launched campaigns encouraging young people to be proud of their dark skin. 41. As Afrocentric beauty standards have become more celebrated internationally, several high-profile models have conquered the world of fashion, such as Alec Wek, Arut Akech, Aweng Adechuol, and Naya Kim Gatwech. 42. The country relies on aid and donations from countries like the United Kingdom, the United States, Norway, and the Netherlands to supplement its budget and meet the basic needs of its citizens. 43. People tend to live very close to their relatives, and this family culture is very important to the country. Sharing meals in common is a frequent practice in most communities. 44. One of the most deeply rooted customs in South Sudanese culture is that children must dedicate themselves to the same professional activities their parents pursue. 45. The first child born in South Sudan when it was already an independent nation was aptly named Independent. Sadly, the child survived just over a year. 46. The country has almost no tourism infrastructure, as there are no paved roads and the communication network is very scarce. The territory suffered severe neglect from the previous government regime before its independence, stemming from racial issues, as Southerners are predominantly black, while Northerners are mostly Arab. 47. Namil is an impressive national park that was home to the now extinct white rhinoceros. The park is located near the border with Uganda and covers an area of 256 square miles. 48. Some of the hottest regions in the world are found in South Sudan, so the climate is very hot for most of the day, making it necessary for people to wear very light and loose clothing that allows air to flow. Traditionally, only the intimate parts are covered, and it is common to come across teenagers walking or playing naked. 49. The Sud Swamp is one of the largest wetlands in the world. During the rainy season, the Sud expands to about 50,193 square miles. Water flows through intertwined channels, which change position every year. In the shallower waters, thick clumps of papyrus grow, becoming so dense that they form temporary islands. Have you heard any of these South Sudan curiosities? Share with us in the comments which one surprised you the most, and if you know any facts to add to the list. Do not forget to share this video so more people can learn about the youngest nation in the world.